Hello students, today I am going to teach you how to make diagrams in the biology. Although it is not a very tedious job, but at times during the exam time, it's a panic for the student as their time is quite less and they have to score good marks by making a proper and a systematic well-labeled diagram. So here I am going to teach you little small tricks that will help you in understanding how you can score good marks during the exam time by making the well-labeled diagram. So what we have to do is, the first thing that we always have to use pencil while making the diagrams. CBSE have prescribed only the pencil, or sometimes at times if you are comfortable then with the colors, but mostly it is with the pencil only. So what we have to do first, we have to make the margins all around the diagram, the space that we require for making it. Like for example, right now I'm going to make a diagram of the open and closed stomata. So for that, first what I have to do is to make the margins all around so that it is clearly visible how much space I am going to occupy for making that diagram. This way I have make a closed box in which I am going to put the diagram. The second thing that I have to do is making the lines at the top of this box so that I can put the heading. My topic name is open and closed stomata. Whenever I'm going to put any of the diagram or any of the heading, it should be start with the capital words. As you can see here, I'm making the diagram, labeling it with that open and closed stomata. So it should be with the capital so that it can be easily identified by the teacher. Now, what I have to do next, I have simply putting the rough outline of making a diagram . As you can see here, I am putting a rough outline. That outline will help us in understanding how much the size of the diagram is. Second, the most important thing, while making a diagram, it should be freehand. It should not be restricted with pens, like with the scale or something. Why is it so? Because when we are drawing a diagram, these all are the biological organs, or sometimes it is a biological part. So if it is anything which is related to the living, it should be made with the freehand. Although the size doesn't matter, but it should be according to the prescribed structure or the shape. Like for example, if I'm talking about the stomatal opening and close, it should have a bean shape. So in case of the closed stomata, I can show you here, it should have the margins like this, which shows you that these have a bean shape structure. In the same case, during making of the open, it should also having the shape of a bean. The size can matter, but the shape doesn't. You cannot change the shape of any of the biological thing, as in this case I am making the shape of a bean so that the stomata can be seen in the same manner. Now here you can see that I have made the two diagrams. Both the diagrams, one is for the open stomata and second one is of the closed stomata. Here you can see that the shape of the diagram is as the same as I am saying it is a bean. Now start from the labeling part. So whenever we are going to label, it is recommended the labeling should be on your right hand side and the diagram should be on your left hand side. So in this case you can see that heading on the top, diagram is on your left hand side and the writing part is on your right hand side. So I'm going to start labeling here. Either you can label in a running writing or in the capital words, it's up to you. But the labeling should be proper and it should be clear. Here you can see that these are the bean shaped guard cells. So I'm going to put it like that. It is what? Guard cells. So I'm putting it like this. Now here, it is showing the open stomata and it is known as open pore. So I am going to put it like that, pore. Here I am not having any of the pore, so I am saying that going to put it here, closed. Here I am going to put it open so that it is clearly visible that I am going to show that guard cells are open during the daytime. And here I am showing that pore is closed, so I am putting a word like close pore. Next here, what I can do is, since these guard cells are present during the epidermal cell or in the epidermal cell, so what I can do is that I can make rough hand the epidermal cells. Here you can see that I can able to make, because of the space that I can make it here, is the presence of epidermal cells. Now here, in the guard cells, we people know that it is rich with the chloroplast, so I can label or draw small ball-like structures which can easily represent that these are the guard cells which are rich in chloroplast. Now what I am going to write it here, these are chloroplast. After labeling all the parts, now the last thing that I have to do is just to rub all those extra parts that I have used by making the rough part of it. So after clearing them up, I can say that my diagram is ready. In a fraction of seconds, I have made this diagram. In the same manner, every student can make it up. But the thing is that it should be clear, it should be properly labeled, and above all, it should be labeled in such a pattern that it look neat and clean. I can show you some other pictures that I have already made during this one, that you can see it here, open and close stomata. In the same manner, I have already prepared some of these specimen copies for you people. Like you can see it here. One is that I have made is tiers of leaf with the color pens as well as with the pencil. As you can see it here, there is no difference in using the color pens as well as we can use the pencil. But according to the CBSE, it is mostly prescribed that you can use pencil because the students are not capable of making the diagrams once at a time in a perfect manner. Here you can see one more diagram that I have made for you people is the human digestive system. You can see it here that all the pattern of the labeling remains the same. Labeling at the right hand side, diagram at the left hand side. It doesn't matter that you can make the diagram so systematically or should be very clear, but it should be properly labeled, and all the parts that you want to show in the diagram, it should be properly visible to the teacher. One more diagram, the most difficult one I want to show you is the human heart. You can see it here. It's the simplest way that I have made this diagram. Although in the books, since this diagram is having so much of complications, you can see it here. I have made it very simply so that during the exam, if you are going to make this much labeling and make this much simple pattern, you are going to score very good marks. So now what I feel is that it is quite sufficient for you to practice during the holidays or in this time, so that during the exam you do not suffer with the problem of labeling a diagram, drawing a diagram in the biology, and you can score good marks out of your both one. Thank you. Have a nice day.